Today I will be demonstrating two recipes which are very sentimental to me and which you can find on our seasonal menus. These two recipes are using stunning ingredients which surround my childhood and my family heritage. My culinary philosophy is pretty simple. Each great dishes essentially come from spectacular ingredients cooked and served very well and consumed in a wonderful atmosphere. And this could be in a Michelin-style restaurant as well as in a street food corner. I always try to support the local entrepreneurs such as bakers, artisan cheese, retail, fishmongers, rather than going to a one-stop shop in a supermarket. Having my menu in mind, I visited this morning the Wanchai Fresh Market, which is my to-go place for fresh fruits and vegetables, but also for fish, which you can find either live or freshly caught. My next stop was at the Creamery on Stato Street, where you can buy all kinds of delicious cheeses, cold cuts, delicatessens. And finally, I stopped by Bakehouse to visit Grégoire and to grab one of his sourdoughs to die for. It's now time to cook. On the first dish, I will show you how to prepare a very tasty mackerel rillette, which you can devour without moderation. I'm actually preparing the exact same recipe as I do back home in France with my family. My dad, sister and I, being fishing addicts, meet on summertime in a place called Lorient in Brittany to catch various species of fishes such as sea bream, sea bass, crabs, but in majority mackerel. Their fatty flesh are just perfect for rillettes. Start gutting your fish by opening the belly, removing the guts from the fish, rinse under the running water and pat dry with a dry cloth. Then remove the fillets on both sides of your fish with a very sharp knife. Don't worry about cutting through the bones, and we will remove the bones a bit later. To remove the fish bone, cut on both sides of the fish bone line and pull it as a strip. It will come very easily. Then place your fishes with the skin side down into a baking tray. To flavor your fishes during the cooking process, we will finely chop some shallots, first vertically, then horizontally, and then with the chopping knife cut it into small pieces. Sprinkle the shallot over the fish. Then we'll be adding some regional white wine to steam your fish during the cooking process. We will also be adding some dill stem, basically any stem you have left over to have a zero waste, but as well don't forget to crush the stems in order to release the aroma from your herbs. Cover your baking tray with aluminum foil. Make sure it's tightly closed in order for the steam not to exit from your baking tray. Place your baking tray into the oven at about 180 degrees for 12 to 14 minutes, depending on the size of your fish. While your fish is cooking in the oven, we will proceed to make a homemade mayonnaise. Therefore, a couple of egg yolks into a mixing bowl. Make sure all your ingredients are really cold. The Dijon mustard as well. Salt, pepper, and slowly add the vegetable oil and start mixing. You will see that the mayonnaise start to form and the emulsion will bring your mayonnaise to thicken. I like to finish my mayonnaise as well with half tablespoon of vinegar to set your mayonnaise. To garnish your rillette, we will chop some local chives, finally with a very sharp chopping knife. Once your fish is cooked, take it out of the oven. Remove the cover. And remove the excess of liquid into a cooking pan. We will then reduce this liquid in order to enhance the flavor of the white wine, the fish stew, the shallot and the herbs. Remove the skin as well as the bloodline from the fish, as it's not very tasty, and you will change the color of your rillettes. Start shredding your fish into small pieces prior to incorporate all the ingredients, starting with your reduced cooking liquid, curry powder. There come lemon zest, your beautiful mayonnaise, and finally your chopped chives. Don't forget to taste your dishes prior serving. Mix really well until fully incorporated. Then fill some glass jar with your rillettes. And garnish with some chopped chives. The best is to prepare the day before to allow the rillettes to set a little bit. To eat this rillette, we're having our beautiful sourdough from Bakehouse, made with an 18 years old mother dough, which you will feel the difference on your taste buds with the very sour flavors. Cut some thick slices of sourdough, place it on a tray, sprinkle a bit of extra virgin olive oil, and season with salt and pepper. Don't forget to season both sides of your bread. Then grill your slices of bread until beautiful dark lines appears. Cut your slices of bread into smaller pieces and place them on your serving dish. And the most satisfying, the tasting part. Do not serve anything to your clients prior testing. On the second dish, I will show you my tips to whip a mouth-watering tomato tarte tatin in few minutes, but which will stay in the memory of your guests for a very long time. For this, tomato quality is crucial as is the main ingredient of your dish. Therefore, ensure the season is at its peak prior planning your menus. We will be starting by doing the caramelized onion, as it takes about 30 to 45 minutes to cook. For this, chop roughly the onions into strips. And set aside. In a hot sauté pan, add butter and allow to melt. Once melted, add your slices of onion and give it a good stir. Let it cook slowly on low fire for about 30 minutes. Once the bottom of the pan is caramelized, give a good stir and deglaze with the vinegar such as sherry vinegar or balsamic vinegar. Moving on with our flavorful basil oil, place your washed basil leaf into a blender and add vegetable oil. Blend very well for about 30 to 45 seconds. Then place the mixture into a cooking pan. Bring the mixture up to 95 degrees. Then pour it over a chinois covered with a cheesecloth or a cloth. Let the oil drip slowly from the cloth. You can also do it the day before and let it drip overnight in the fridge, which you will have even a better clarity of oil. Moving on to the tatin itself, take your washed tomatoes and peel off from the stems. Those beautiful tomatoes are coming from our organic and hydroponic garden located on the 6th floor of our new clubhouse. This beautiful honey is home produced from our 30,000 bees and our 3 beehives that we sponsor from a beekeeper in Hong Kong at the border of Shenzhen in Saitin. Once the honey is caramelized, please add your tomatoes. If you are using cherry tomatoes, you can leave it whole. If you're using big tomatoes, just cut them in half. Cut your puff pastry a little bit bigger than your baking tray. Place your caramelized onion over your tomatoes and top it up with your puff pastry. You will cover all the tomatoes and you will give a double layer on the outside of your baking tray in order to puff more on the outside. Place it in the oven for about 15 minutes at 200 degrees. During the cooking process, you can start picking your herbs for the herb salad. You can use any herbs you like. We're using chervil. We're also using all the herbs available in our hydroponic garden, which you can find basil, coriander, mint, and so on. Then it's time to cut your beautiful cheese. I advise you to use warm water to cut a good slice of cheese. Today we're using a Valençay-sur-Cher, which is from Loire Valley. This is a cheese which is made from goat cheese milk and covered with ashes. Cut into cubes and set aside. Then cut your hazelnut into quarter to give a little crunch into your salad. Once your tatin is cooked, take it out of the oven, cut the outside, and flip it on the resting tray. Then remove the cover. The wonderful smell of tarte tatin freshly baked come into your nose. Then place the cubes of goat cheese over it and place in the oven for an extra 2 minutes to allow the cheese to melt. Once the cheese is soft, take it out of the oven. You can dress your herb salad with extra virgin olive oil, your beautiful basil oil that we previously prepared, a zest of lemon, and a dash of vinegar. For today's recipe, I'm using a very nice fresh lime vinegar. Place your tomato tartatin into the plate, then drizzle around it with your basil oil and add some balsamic reduction. You can do your own by reducing some balsamic vinegar with bay leaf or purchasing a beautiful one such as did today from Leonardi, 15 years old. Add your herb salad over the tartatin and sprinkle your quarters hazelnut to add the crunch. Your dish is now ready. Let's cut it and see if it tastes as good as it looks. Good dishes are great, but once they're paired with wonderful wine, it's even better. Therefore, on the mackerel rillette, I've selected a Champagne Henri Giraud with a rich and ranch Chardonnay Blanc de Blanc. A nice salty finish will cut the fattiness of the fish. It's definitely a must for your aperitif. Moving on to the tomato tarte tatin, a Santorini, 100% Assyrtiko from Greece, will bring the sunshine into your plates. The oily texture will enhance the caramelized touch of the onion and will leave a very pleasant finish on your taste buds. That's all for today, but I will meet you for a new cooking adventure very soon.